Hello, I'm Professor Margaret Rogers van Coops, and I want to tell you that I'm a metaphysiotherapist and a metaphysician. So what does that mean? It means that I deal with alternative medicine. And when one is studying so many different things relative to making somebody feel well, we have to look at a person emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. But more important than that is we have to look at how they've become fearful of life. You know, pain is one of the most traumatic things that we can suffer. When you have a painful back or a painful arm and you go to move it, and your instant self says move it, but you can't because it hurts so much. You have such a conflict within yourself because your brain is saying, I want to do what I always do, but I'm so limited and restricted by this pain that I can't do anything else. And at that point you start to run fear modes. What if I never get this better? What if the medicine I'm taking is poisoning me? Okay. What if in some way I never get to keep my job because I'm out of work for so long with this painful arm? Now I'm going to get angry with my bosses who fired me because they didn't give me a chance to get better, so it's their fault. Or okay, I feel very guilty because I hurt myself and now I can't go back and sort out everything that I left undone. I need to go back and sort things out, but I can't do it because I'm in so much pain. I'm afraid that if I do go back, they'll all blame me and shame me in some way for leaving such a mess and nothing sorted out. And so at that point we become traumatized with the idea that we have in some way caused others to be distressed by the fact that we're in pain, that we've hurt ourselves, and we're afraid that they'll not understand the pain we're in because they're looking at a different kind of pain. They're looking at the trauma of extra work, or they're looking at the fear of not being able to get their work done because my work isn't finished, and so on. There's 101 scenarios that we could go into here about how we think about ourselves affecting other people. And of course, when we think about ourselves affecting others, we perceive it as we are in some way downtrodden, that people don't trust us, they don't listen to us, but rather watch us and perceive us and judge us and condemn us as unfit to be able to do the things that we would normally do, which we can't do now because we've hurt ourselves in some way. Being reliable and responsible is an important part of our training when we're young. We're told you just cannot fail, because if you do, there's a punishment. On your bed, write 100 lines, go do extra chores, who knows what it is, but in some way that has an emotional effect on a child, and that child will then become aggravated, antsy, feel they're flopping or they're a failure, feel resentment. There's just so many emotions they could be going through at mum, dad, teacher, priest, Tom, Dick and Harry down the road. And we can't as parents be guarding them and protecting them morning, noon and night. So what do? We sit them down, we give them a talk, we tell them, now listen, this is how you behave in public, this is what you do, this is what you don't do, and so on and so forth. And while that is very good for the child to hear it, when they actually get out on the street and meet other kids who haven't had that training, they immediately get bullied. And when they get bullied, they're listening to the words that their parents have taught them in their mind. Don't don't stir the waters, just try and walk away. Just say, okay, I understand, it won't happen again, and walk away. But hey, these nasty kids, they don't know that kind of language, they don't know that kind of talk, so they're going to say, oh, cloudy custard. They're going to jibe the kid more, they're going to try and get the kid into a fight. And if the kid bites, they lose their way, they're either going to have to join the group and be one of the group and kowtow to the so-called leader, or they're going to take a beating, go home, and Mum's going to say, I'm really proud of you that you stood up for everything that you believe in, because that's what we believe in, and therefore, we want you to go on the straightened path, and well done. But hey, what does that child go through? What are the emotions that that child is going through, either being beaten up and being forced to join a group, or die, or escape narrowly with wounds maybe, to get home to find parents saying, you can't mix with those kids, you have to go elsewhere, you have to do something different. But where is elsewhere? Where is something different to be? So where I'm coming from here in my need to educate is to say, it's up to us parents to put ourselves out, to be available for children, to be able to come and learn from us. Now, when I was a child, it was easier for me to go to Grandma, who had time on her hands because she was retired, to sit down and teach me how to sew, knit, and crochet. Well, that was good. And then Mum, she taught me to draw and paint when she had minutes between whatever she was doing. That kept me quiet, okay? And then I had friends who would come over, and we would sit together and colour doilies or colouring books and discuss school topics. And while we were discussing those school topics, Mum was earwigging. In other words, listening to what we were saying. And while she didn't interfere, later in the day, when all was done, she would come to me with a little something to add to whatever we'd been talking about. And I remember one example where we were talking about overload of too much homework, too much to do. And my mother had said to me very quietly, this may seem like a lot of homework, but wait till you go to work and you have to work 8 hours a day. And I thought about that, and I thought, well, 8 hours? Wait a minute, I'm in school for 6 hours, and then I come home and have to do another 4 hours homework. I'm already working 12 hours. That doesn't make much sense. And I said so to my mother. I was 16 at the time. And she said, well, let's turn that around, and let's say you're working 16 hours now. Won't you be happy when you're only working 8 hours and you've got a full-time job? Yes, what I learned was an alternative way of thinking. I think every child should be given an opportunity to learn how to find a positive, alternative way to thinking. Okay? Now, I could have said, oh God, I've still got to work 8 hours. I'm working 16 hours now, and I have to work another 8 hours for the rest of my life. But I didn't, you see, because of my upbringing. My mother had always taught me there's an alternative. So, hey, my 8 hours was less hours, and that meant I had less hours of homework. That meant I had more time to play. So I saw the positive side of it. What I'm trying to say here is this. No matter what your illness or your disease is, where there's a will, there's a way to overcome the pain, to overcome the fear and anxiety, to overcome the sense of loss by putting something else in its place, to overcome illness and disease by eating the right foods right from the beginning, staying healthy, by working out, running, jumping, just like you did when you were a kid, because it's still possible. You can do that. And by doing the arts, music, dancing, You know, Dancing with the Stars is on TV now, and those people say it's changed their lives. Physical activity does change the mentality, and it changes your heart in the way you feel about yourself. So my suggestion to mums and dads is make sure that your kid gets plenty of art, plenty of book reading, plenty of study work that is not homework, but is a craft in some way or a talent. Get them into dance school, get them into yoga. If they're boys, get them into judo, get them into some kind of practice where they're using those muscles, running, jumping, whatever it is they want to do. And as an adult, keep it up. Work out as often as you can. For me, I'm always busy, so when I clean my house, I clean it thoroughly. I'm up and down, climbing on ladders, going all around and about. That's my exercise. And when I go shopping, I walk up and down all the aisles and I make sure I look at everything and see everything and keep my brain paying attention to whatever I'm looking at, because I want to know what's on those shelves so that I can remember next time where it is. Too many of us older folks, yes, I am an older folk, I'm 76. Too many of us say, hey, I'm old, I have to retire. I have to put my feet up, my back aches, my neck aches, this is bad, that is bad. Do you know what I do? I get up in the morning and I say, if I have an ache, I'll overcome it by the day's gone. I'll do my crystal work, I'll work on myself, I'll get out and about, I'll do everything the same as I would normally, and yes, by the end of the day, I'm out of pain. So on this happy note, I say to you, if you are interested in healing yourself emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually, to get rid of your fear, pain, anger, and guilt, to awaken to a world of wisdom and knowledge within you, then I can counsel you, I can help you in any way you want. We can do it over the phone, we can do it over Skype, we can do it over Facebook, and yes, we can do it on one-on-one. And okay, look out for my teachings of classes on Zoom.com starting in January. Yes, I'll be there for you in many ways and as cheaply as possible. So don't give up. Good teachers, they don't worry about money, they worry about you. And I am concerned about you and your future. So go to sumaricenter.com. That's S-U-M as in mother, A-R-I-S for sugar again, center, C-E-N-T-E-R.com. Put your name, email, and your interests, and I'll get back to you, and I'll let you know what I'm going to teach you that will help you to feel so much better about yourself. Bye for now.